Yosemite National Park holds not only the majestic beauty of nature, but also its deadly secrets. Here, at an altitude of over 2,000 meters, where the sky meets granite cliffs, the line between the perfect shot and the last breath is sometimes thinner than a blade. In 2018, this park, which attracts millions of tourists with its waterfalls and sheer cliffs, set a grim record of 10 fatalities, 6 of whom crashed in a fall from altitude. Each of these tragedies left their mark on the park's history, but one in particular was a special reminder of how the modern mania for perfect photos can have fatal consequences. Among all of the park's observation decks, Taft Point stands out. Overhanging Yosemite Valley at an elevation of about 900 meters, this ledge attracts photographers from all over the world. From here you can enjoy a breathtaking view of the famous El Capitan and Yosemite Falls, and the absence of solid fences creates the illusion of complete unity with nature. It's this feature that makes the place so popular for photographers and so dangerous for the careless. By 2018, the statistics of deaths from selfies had already become a global problem. Studies showed that in the previous 7 years, more than 250 people had died while trying to get the perfect shot. Falls from heights ranked third among the causes of these deaths, behind only drowning and transportation accidents. Yosemite, with its spectacular vistas and accessible cliffs, has unwittingly become one of the arenas of this tragic statistic. In September 2018, the park had already experienced a similar tragedy. 18-year-old Tomer Frankfurter from Israel died trying to take spectacular selfies on Nevada Fall. But even that fresh story couldn't prevent a new tragedy from playing out at Taft Point just a month later. A tragedy that will cause many to rethink the price we are willing to pay for popularity on social media. Meenakshi Murthy and Vishnu Viswanath were no ordinary tourists. Originally from the southern Indian state of Kerala, they met while studying at Chenganur Engineering College. It wasn't just their love for technology that brought them together. They both saw more to life than just careers and everyday life. After getting married in 2014, the young couple took the bold step of moving to the United States, where Vishnu continued his studies at Bradley University. America opened up new horizons for them. While Vishnu developed a career in the technology sector, Meenakshi, unable to work due to visa restrictions, found another avenue of self-fulfillment. In 2017, she launched an Instagram blog, Holidays and Happily Ever Afters, which quickly gained popularity amongst travel enthusiasts. Her bright pink hair became a kind of business card, and her candid posts about life and adventure attracted thousands of followers. Their content was different from typical travel blogs. Meenakshi didn't just show beautiful places. She shared deep reflections on life, her struggle with depression, and the importance of following dreams. Vishnu, on his part, provided the technical component of their project, creating impressive photos of their travels. Together, they became known as the Dream Team, a dreamer and photographer exploring America and sharing their discoveries with a growing audience. By the summer of 2018, their Instagram account had gained over 26,000 followers, and their blog became a popular platform for those who dreamed of a life of adventure. However, Meenakshi, who called herself an adrenaline junkie, often warned her followers about the dangers of chasing the perfect shot. In posts about a trip to the Grand Canyon, she wrote about the deadly dangers of wind gusts and urged people to value life more than social media likes. Those warnings, as time has shown, proved prophetic. In April 2018, Meenakshi and Vishnu's lives took another turn. Prestigious technology company Cisco Systems offered Vishnu a position as a software engineer at its San Jose headquarters. It wasn't just a new job, it was a chance to settle down in the heart of Silicon Valley. After much deliberation, the couple decided that they would spend about a year in California before returning to India for a family wedding in early 2019. By October 2018, they had already packed their bags and made the journey from New York to San Jose. But instead of just moving, they decided to turn the journey into a real adventure. Their white Subaru became a motorhome, and the road trip across the country became an opportunity to create new content for their blog. On October 17, 2018, Meenakshi published her last Instagram post. In a photo from Vermont, the fall mountains were wrapped in golden foliage. "Moments like this make you believe in the magic created by nature," she wrote, unaware that a week later, that same nature would show their ruthless side. Ahead of them was California, Vishnu's new job at Cisco, and they thought, a new chapter of their lives. Yosemite was supposed to be just another stop on their never-ending journey. Little did they know that this decision would be the beginning of a chain of events that would lead them to a fateful sunset in the majestic Yosemite Park. The fall road trip from New York to California turned into an adventure for Meenakshi and Vishnu. Their white Subaru crossed state after state, and their Instagram account was filled with new photos and stories. For them, it wasn't just about getting from point A to point B. Each stop became the occasion for a new post, each city adding a new chapter to their travel diary. On October 17th, their journey took them to Vermont. Here, amidst the mountains blazing with fall gold, Meenakshi made her final Instagram post. With golden cloaks covering the mountains all the way to the horizon, it's impossible to deny the incredible beauty of Vermont foliage, she wrote, adding, "Moments like this truly make you believe in the magic of nature." The post garnered hundreds of likes. Their followers are already used to such lyrical posts accompanying Vishnu's gorgeous photos. California was ahead of them. A new home, a new job, new adventures. Their backpacks contained maps of the national parks, including a guidebook to Yosemite. This park was supposed to be just another stop on their never-ending journey, another dot on the map of their happily ever after. But no one could have imagined what the couple would face in the days to come. On October 24th, their Subaru parked in a parking lot at the beginning of the trailhead to Taft Point. After a week on the road, Yosemite greeted them with a cool fall day. The thermometer read about 10 degrees, and the clear skies promised perfect conditions for sunset photography. Meenakshi, as noticeable as ever thanks to her pink hair, helped Vishnu unload the photographic equipment from the trunk. Tripod, camera, backpack with supplies, the usual kit for their photo shoots. The trail to Taft Point, a little over a mile long, was well traveled by numerous hikers. Along the way, they encountered other visitors returning from an afternoon stroll. October days are short in Yosemite, and most prefer not to linger in the open areas after sunset. But for Meenakshi and Vishnu, it was the perfect time, when the crowds thin out and the light is soft and golden. There were several photographers at the Taft Point observation deck that evening. Among them was Sean Madison, who took notice of the unusual couple. He was particularly impressed with Meenakshi. She stood out not only because of her brightly colored hair, but also because of how confidently she stood at the edge of the cliff. "She was standing very close to the edge," Madison later recalled. "It made me nervous, but she looked perfectly calm." He took several photos of the sunset, inadvertently capturing Meenakshi in them as well, as the last rays of the sun painted the granite walls of El Capitan in red-gold tones. It was just the two of them on the platform. Vishnu, known for his perfectionism in photography, had spent a long time choosing a place for the tripod. Every shot had to be perfect. That was their rule. In their backpack, apart from their photography equipment, they had a bottle of alcohol. Perhaps they wanted to celebrate the start of a new life in California, or just to warm up on a chilly evening. This decision, which seemed so ordinary at the time, would become a turning point in their story. The temperature continued to drop, and the wind picked up, a common occurrence for Yosemite in the evening. Now they were alone with their camera, the sunset, and a chasm over 800 feet deep. Their camera was mounted on a tripod, its lens pointed into the void, ready to capture the last shot of the day. None of the other park visitors already down the trail could have guessed that night would change the history of Taft Point forever. In the thickening dusk, Vishnu methodically adjusted his camera. Over the years of traveling, this procedure had become almost a ritual for him. Pick a point, set up the tripod, check for stability on the uneven rock face. Every movement had been honed by hundreds of previous shoots. Meenakshi was by his side as usual, her pink hair now seeming dark in the fading light of day. They often filmed in dangerous locations. Meenakshi loved spectacular shots, on the edge of the Grand Canyon, on top of skyscrapers, while skydiving. But something was different that night. The alcohol they brought with them dulled their sense of danger. The exact amount they drank will forever remain a mystery. Later, an examination will only confirm the mere fact of ethanol in the blood of both of them. The wind was picking up, as it often does in the mountains after sunset. The gusts became more and more sharp, making even the tripod firmly set up vibrate slightly. Ironically, Meenakshi herself warned of this danger in her posts. Wind gusts can be deadly. Is our life worth one photo? Now those words sounded like a prophecy. In total darkness, Taft Point becomes a particularly treacherous place. The line between solid ground and emptiness blurs, and the lack of fences makes every step potentially dangerous. The couple prepared for the last shot of the day. The camera was set to auto shutter. They wanted to capture themselves against the starry sky that was already beginning to emerge over Yosemite Valley. What exactly happened in the next few minutes will always remain a mystery. Was it a gust of wind, a misstep on uneven terrain, or a moment of alcohol-enhanced vertigo? Taft Point holds that mystery. The camera remained standing on its tripod, its lens still pointed into the night sky, a silent witness to the tragedy. Night has descended on Yosemite, bringing with it a familiar silence. Somewhere below, 800 feet below Taft Point, lay the bodies of Meenakshi and Vishnu, and up above, a tripod and camera stood alone, waiting for the morning sun to illuminate the scene of the tragedy and for the first park visitors to make the grisly discovery. The morning of October 25, 2018, began like a normal day in Yosemite. The first rays of sunshine painted the park's granite walls pink, and early tourists were already heading to popular viewing areas. At Taft Point, they were greeted by an unusual sight: a lone tripod with a camera pointed into the void, as if it had been forgotten there since the previous evening. Concerned visitors reported the find to park rangers. Yosemite's experienced employees knew all too well that abandoned photographic equipment is often the first sign of trouble. The rangers, armed with binoculars, began to survey the steep canyon walls. Soon their worst fears were confirmed. 800 feet below the lookout, they spotted two bodies. The rescue operation began around 8:30 a.m. A team of 6 experienced rescue rangers arrived on the scene. The steepness of the slope and difficult terrain required the use of specialized climbing equipment to descend. The park requested support from California Highway Patrol, and an H-30 rescue helicopter arrived shortly thereafter. The main challenge was the location of the bodies. They were on a difficult-to-reach section of the slope, requiring a combined approach to evacuation. Rangers used a rappelling technique, while a CHP helicopter provided air support and subsequent transportation of the bodies. The operation lasted about 4 hours. By 12:30 p.m., the bodies were hoisted to the top. In a white Subaru Forester parked nearby, rangers found documents that confirmed the identities of the deceased, Vishnu Viswanath and Meenakshi Murthy. The car also contained maps of the park and the couple's travel notes, as well as future plans that were never meant to come to fruition. After the tragedy, Yosemite Park fell into silence, broken only by the rustling of fall leaves and the sound of waterfalls. But thousands of people around the world watched the events unfold, trying to understand how another walk for the perfect shot could have ended so tragically. The investigation began immediately. Jamie Richards, a spokeswoman for the park, had only one thing to say in the early days: "We are still trying to piece together the picture of what happened." Investigators methodically examined every detail, from the condition of the metal fencing at Taft Point, which appeared undamaged, to the photos on the camera they found that were the last witnesses to that evening. In January 2019, a Mariposa County coroner's report shed light on some of the circumstances surrounding the tragedy. Ethyl alcohol was found in the blood of both victims, though the exact level could not be determined. All we can state is that they had consumed alcohol, but the degree of intoxication is unknown, explained Assistant Coroner Andrea Stewart. The official cause of death was listed as multiple injuries sustained in the fall. The news of the couple's death sparked a wave of grief on social media. Their Instagram account, where as recently as a week ago Meenakshi was sharing her impressions of fall Vermont, turned into a digital memorial. Thousands of followers left comments recalling how the couple's posts inspired them to embark on their own journeys. Two communities were particularly affected by the tragedy: the tech and indie communities. Cisco Systems, where Vishnu had just started working, issued a statement. "It is with deep sorrow that we learned of the loss of our employee. We will do everything we can to support his family during this difficult time." The Silicon Valley Indian community, where the couple was planning to start a new life, organized a memorial service. The Chenganur College of Engineering, where Meenakshi and Vishnu once met, released a touching statement. "Our hearts go out to the friends and families of this beautiful couple. May their souls find peace." These words reflected the sentiments of thousands of people who followed their story. Vishnu's brother Jishnu Viswanath confirmed in an interview with the Associated Press that the couple tried to take selfies before the fall. "They were happy together and living life to the fullest. It was an accident that took them away from us," he said. Due to the circumstances of the tragedy and the severity of injuries after the fall, the family made the difficult decision to hold the funeral in the U.S., away from their native Kerala. The Yosemite administration was faced with a difficult choice. After the tragedy, many called for additional fencing at Taft Point, but the park decided to keep the natural look of the area. "We want all visitors to experience the wonder and magic of Yosemite, but return home in the same condition in which they arrived," the administration said, emphasizing the importance of each visitor's personal responsibility. In a world where the lines between real and social life are increasingly blurred, their story was a bittersweet reminder that even the most spectacular shot cannot be more precious than a human life. The tragedy at Taft Point has left a deep mark on Yosemite's history and in the hearts of thousands of people who have followed Meenakshi and Vishnu's journeys. Their blog, Holidays and Happily Ever Afters, became more than just a collection of beautiful photos. It was a story of love, adventure, and the pursuit of a dream, a story cut short too soon. The bitterest paradox of their fate was that they were keenly aware of the risks of their lifestyle. Meenakshi didn't just share beautiful shots, she tried to teach her followers caution and responsibility. Her posts often warned of the dangers of chasing spectacular photos. She understood the cost of making a mistake, but on that fateful night at Taft Point, fate had a different outcome. Their last post from autumnal Vermont, full of admiration for the magic of nature, was an unwitting testament. It reflected everything that made them special: the ability to see the beauty of the world, the desire to share that beauty with others, and an endless belief in miracles. But their story also reminded us how thin the line is between courage and recklessness, between the desire to capture the moment and the pursuit of social media recognition. In a world where every moment of life becomes a potential post, their tragedy isn't just a cautionary tale. It's a reminder that life's most important moments are often left out, and the pursuit of the perfect photo should never become more important than life itself. This concludes the story of Meenakshi and Vishnu. Who do you think bears more responsibility for this tragedy? The park that failed to install the fences, or the couple who drank alcohol before the shoot? Which is more important, preserving the natural beauty of places like Taft Point, or making it as safe as possible for tourists? And do you think social media really pushes people to take unnecessary risks, or is it just a convenient excuse for personal irresponsibility? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'm sure many of you have something to say about this. Perhaps it is your opinion that will make someone think twice before risking their life for crazy desires. Friends, if you like this story, Put a like and subscribe to the channel. A lot of incredible and exciting stories are ahead of us. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next episodes.